Welcome back to the 2024 character modeling series for beginners in Blender. Today we're finally gonna jump into the sculpting, which is like the biggest part of the character creation. So, we're gonna get into it. Before I start, I want to invite you guys to a Discord server I created for my YouTube channel. Feel free to join and, share your art. It's basically a little place that I made just for that. Also, if you need help with this course, you can essentially throw your problems in here. Let's all just get in here, help each other out, and grow together as artists, So let's get into it. So this is the blend file that we created in the previous video. And do make sure to watch part 2 first, where we talk about the concepting and also show you how to set up your reference images. So right now we have all of our reference images here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put these in their own collection so that we cannot touch them anymore. So I'm going to select all of them in the right hand side, or just press A. And I'm going to hit M and select new collection. And I'm gonna call them ref, short for reference image. And I'm gonna collapse this. So if you select this little funnel icon, it gives you a few options. We're gonna select the cursor, and then it basically pops up next to the object. And now we can select the cursor, or actually uncheck it. And that basically means we can no longer select anything here by accident. It's a cool little trick there. We're gonna work in our collection. We can call this main, so that we know we're working in there. And you can also right click and change the color to whatever you like. For the people that don't have a pen tablet, I'll make it fair for you guys. I'll try to sculpt as much of it using my mouse. Alright, so let's get into it. First things first, make sure your 3D cursor is in the middle. So if it's anywhere here, press Shift C. There you go. And then we're going to create a sphere. So press Shift A, Mesh, UV Sphere. Go in your front view, and I'm going to position this with G. And if you press G and Z, it's supposed to pick it up over here. But you can basically move it in a certain axis, and I'm gonna move it right over the head and scale it basically like this. The cranium, it's hidden under the hair fluff in this case, but the head should be pretty big like this. I'm looking at her chin, and also the head, it shouldn't be too big or too small. So when you scale something, always press Ctrl A and apply the transform. In this case, I'm only going to apply it for scale, but if I rotated this thing, or it did something like this, make sure just apply it for the scale. Go into sculpt mode, Control Tab, sculpt mode, and there we go. We're in sculpt mode, like I showed you in, I believe, the first video. First things first, let's go in solid view mode, and I like to change the matte cap, which is basically the color that you're seeing while you're working. So I'm going to select this and select matte cap, and I like using this tan looking color. And then the other thing is selecting mirror mode on the x-axis. And then what I like to do is use the snake hook tool to start off. So first thing I'm going to do is scale up the brush. Now you could use these sliders, but shortcuts are your friend to fasten up your workflow. So I'm going to press F once, and I'm going to slide my mouse to the right, make it big. Well, right now the strength is set to 1, so I'm going to press Shift F. And I can scale this down, and I like to bring it down to around 35. Like that, and click. And with Alt Z, you can go quickly into X-ray mode, which is also very nice to see a reference. Now, first thing I'm going to do is get a basic head shape. Not a realistic head shape, but like an anime girl head shape, or boy, whatever. It's all the same, really. There's a very distinct head shape, so let me show you. I'm gonna bring in the sides, and so bring this down and match it up with the chin right here. Bring this in a little bit, go to the side view and make this a bit flatter, like that. That's okay. And this will usually be way too round for if you want to do like a stylized or a semi-realistic character. But, you know, we know what we're doing here. We're going for like an anime character. And then I would already like to set the shape, but before that I'm going to quickly remesh it. So I'm going to hit R to bring up the remesh grid and move my mouse to the right. You know, about that much is okay. I left click and I hit Control R. And now we got a bit more geometry. Maybe, yeah, a little bit more. I'm going to select this Draw Sharp brush. I wasn't really using this brush before, but since I've been watching a lot of Speedchar, you know, the bald guy with the unibrow that sculpts amazing characters, he uses this one a lot to set his shapes first. So let's do that. Let's crease this area right here where the eyes are. And smooth it out a little bit. And like I said, I am using my just my mouse, so I don't have pen pressure, but that's okay. Let's see, there's the mouth. Now she has an open mouth because she has her tongue sticking out. I'll show you how to do it, but I'll show you, before I get to that, I'll show you how to do like a regular closed mouth, because this might get a bit too tricky, you know, if you're just starting out especially. Let's punch in a mouth here. Now you notice it's very low poly. But I found this is the way to work really, from low poly to high poly. Like even in your sculpts, like go set all your shapes when, you know, your mesh is very low poly first before you add like a million polygons to it. So I'm gonna remesh it again, but add a few more polygons there. Make the brush smaller. Let's select the snake hook and go to the right view and bring out that nose. And really with anime characters, if you've seen any anime model in 3D before it's toon shaded, the nose basically looks like, how would I say it, like a rat's nose actually. Like it's very pointed out. It looks very, it looks kind of weird in 3D before it's toon shaded, but this will look good in when it's cell shaded. But by all means, if you want to just go with a realistic looking character, you might want to, you know, actually add like this area above the lip, but I'm just going to do it like this for now. You'd think I should know all the names of the face by now, having done so many sculpts. So you see the face over here, it goes a bit flatter. Right now the sides are way too round, so I'm going back to snake hook and bring it in a bit. By the way, when you're sculpting, just, you know, you can put on like your own music. Something like, I like to listen to a lot of lo-fi, and recently I found this playlist on Spotify that basically does like lo-fi covers of famous anime shows like One Piece, Attack on Titan, all that. And it's very, well, for one, it's fitting with this theme that we're doing, but it's also very relaxing, you know. And yeah, one of the main reasons I stopped putting music under my videos, because you have the liberty to put your own music in there. I'm gonna switch to clay strips and in wireframe mode so I can see my reference. I'm gonna just carve out a bit of this shape. I can't really see what I'm doing, but I'm trusting the progress here. That is, let's get to the mouth. So now I'm gonna add a lot more. And always save your project, by the way, before you remesh. I found out the hard way, because sometimes Blender does this and you might not tell what's going on, but it's basically like adding a ton of geometry, you see, if you go all the way to the right. And it will crash your computer, unless you are running on a NASA computer. So save and then remesh. There we go. Now we got a lot more geometry there. So I'm just gonna hold down shift and just click to smooth. And then for the lips, let's fix this. Well, it's already an open mouth, so I guess let's just go to open mouth then. Snake hook, and bring this down a bit, because she has like the expression of like, what? You see? Kind of like, but with the tongue out, I guess. So smooth it out a bit more. Select the crease brush, and the sides of the mouth should be going a bit down. And then, you know, you notice like stretching like this, like in wireframe mode, you can tell a bit better. Like the polygons are stretching, just remesh it. And if it's doing that, just, you know, bring it up a little bit more. Do it again and remesh. Now it works. So I guess we should just add the tongue then, because otherwise you can't guess what the mouth looks like. But before I'm gonna do that, I'm quickly gonna add this little crease on the chin right here. Remesh that. By the way, the preparation for this course wasn't really that much. Like all I did was I sculpted the character, and I spent more time on, like, you saw the kitchen in the intro shot that I use for every one of these videos. Yeah, I spent my time doing that more than, you know, finishing the whole thing and showing you like, hey, here you go, it's game ready. But that's not because, you know, I'm an idiot. I mean, probably that as well, but I've already done this so many times that okay, let's just be real, I was just lazy. And it's a first course. I don't want to, like, I don't know what to expect, right? I'm just going like hat on with it. Is that how you say it? Hat first. That sounds wrong. Whatever. Alright. What's our character doing? That looks like a mouse right now. So here's the trick. For lips, select the crease brush, scale it down a bit, hold down Control to invert. So if you crease, it does this. If you invert it, it will do that. So you can kind of see where this is going. Just if you have a tablet, don't put too much pressure on there. I already have my pressure set very low, so just go like that a couple times. And then smooth the outer edge. So I'm not smoothing the actual line, but I'm smoothing on the outside. You see? And then maybe inflate a little bit. Because lips are very puffy. Alright. Bring this down a bit. So I might have to cut these videos in several pieces because, you know, sculpting does take a while, and I don't want to have videos that are like an hour or 2 hours long, because I mean, who's gonna watch that? This is very dense right now, but it's okay because it's the head, which will be like the most detailed part. Most of this you won't even see, but we will actually sculpt the body nude before any clothes. Because we're going to use a masking technique to extract from the body and actually get the hoodie out of it. And I'll show you how. So let's block out the body. So cursor in the middle. I'm going to shift a mesh UV sphere. I'm going to bring that up. And I'm actually going to scale it like this. You can't really see the neck, but generally the neck is a bit angled. Control A, scale, and I'm going into sculpt mode. And also you have to enable mirror mode every single time you create a new object. And I'm just gonna, you know, zoom out a bit, so, or make your brush big. I'm just gonna angle it like that. Nothing too fancy, don't make the neck too thick. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. And now I'm gonna hit Shift D to duplicate this and bring it down, left click. I'm gonna scale it up a bit and then scale it on the side. So S and X, and I hit Control A, scale, and go back in sculpt mode. And now we're gonna use this as the blockout for our torso. So always block out before you get into details. It's funny, very recently, like I think last week, there was a whole thing on Twitter. I mean, Twitter is always the place for drama, I guess. But people were complaining about, or arguing about what it means, what a blockout means. Because, see, some people, there were some artists that basically put a very high poly, basically imagine the character is almost finished pretty much. It's just not textured yet. And they would say this is the blockout versus the final. Which, if you ask me, that's not a blockout. Like the whole, it's in the name. And I know everybody's entitled to their opinions. I'm gonna quickly remesh this. Yeah, everybody's entitled to their opinions, but I mean, it's in the name, right? A block, like, what's the point of a blockout? It's to quickly get to the details. And I get, like, I guess back in the day, a blockout was literally just to use very basic shapes and whatnot, primitive shapes. Nowadays, a blockout, might mean, adding way more details to your character and not just going by, simple shapes. But there is a limit, though. And the argument that was mainly used was, well, different studios have different criteria to what a blockout is. But honestly, that's just abusing the word blockout. Like, and especially, like, I'm saying this for new artists, because when I was in that position, just starting out, when I would see an artist create amazing character art, and they would call something that's almost finished a blockout, in your head, you might think, well, shit, like, I'm far too slow. If I take a whole week to finish just a head, then how will I ever get to their level? Then that's what I'm saying. The reality is that those character artworks take like maybe months, If you're fast, you could do it in a month if you're like really fast. But, or if you have all the time in the world. If you overwork, you could probably do it in a couple of weeks, but yeah. I don't know. I'm skeptical. People love to brag. Love to brag on the internet. So, I don't know. I don't really care about all this stuff. I just, I like to keep a foot into the, what's going on in the 3D world. And, I mean, unfortunately that's on Twitter, but it is what it is, right? So, let's create a new sphere. By the way, you could actually use a snake hook and bring this all the way down. But let me just simplify this for you. Because I think this will be easier to just break it up in separate chunks. This is a beginner tutorial after all. Enable mirror mode, snake hook. What I'll do is I'll finish the blockout. Because I see my OBS almost running to half an hour now. I will finish this video and I'll make a follow-up video on how to do the detailing. And then, next video will be about, let's see, modeling the spatula and the salt shaker. So maybe there will be like 3 or 2, definitely 2, but maybe 3 videos about the sculpting process. And I don't want to rush this part because it is a big part of the character modeling. Because this is the part where you can even like experiment and make stuff that, you don't like in the, stick to the reference, but If you want to change some stuff, go ahead and make it yours, you know. As a matter of fact, let me just say this. If you can enhance this, go ahead and make it your own, okay? Because that way it's way more fun. I mean, you're already gonna, you know, make it your own. I doubt you could have a one-to-one to this, and that's not like a insult to anyone. That's the cool part of art. When we make something, we always add our own touch to it, right? Because this doesn't look anything like if you set this one side to side with the artwork from Arno Tegni, it would be very different. So now I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna make sure the cursor is still in the middle. So Shift C. I'm gonna press Shift A, empty plane axis, and you can hide this for all I care. And now we just create a UV sphere. Scale this down, scale it like that. Control A scale. And now I'm gonna add a mirror. So I'm just type in mirror. And my mirror object is gonna be that empty. And you might wanna uncheck merge. There you go. So let's block out the legs. Sculpt mode. Now you don't need to actually, as a matter of fact, you shouldn't check the mirror mode, otherwise it's going to do this. So uncheck that. And there we go. Let's block this out. Alright. And recently I started experimenting with blocking out hard surface models in Blender using, you know, sculpting, I mean. So hard surface sculpting essentially. And I remember seeing a video of somebody doing that in 3D Code years ago. And they made like a rover. And back then I was like, damn, that's so cool looking. And I tried it in Blender, never worked for me. Shift D and bring it down. Maybe scale it a bit down. Back into sculpt mode. And yeah, there's various tools in Blender on how to do that, and I was just experimenting with making this little space pod. I might make a video on it, but I think generally for this channel people are more interested in character art, and that is my main thing as well, don't get me wrong. I love making characters, you know, stylized characters. I do want to get into some realistic characters, you know, because I just want to diversify my portfolio, make, you know, show you that I can do realistic characters, but also stylized characters, and not just stick to one style. I don't know, that's just me. So for the knees, for the shins, I'm gonna actually select the scrape brush, which I think is great to set the planes. So I'm gonna flatten these areas out, and I'm gonna go to the thighs and do the same thing. By the way, if you want to switch to a different piece, instead of going to object mode, selecting this, going to sculpt mode, you can hover over. So right now I'm in this object. You can hover over a different object and press Alt Q, and you see it will do that little glow up animation. And now I'm in this object, and I can work on this and go into this one, and now I can work on this one. Very cool. So I'm gonna flatten the inner thighs like that. This character has some very big quadriceps, so that means she's doing a lot of leg presses in the gym, or squats, or whatever. I mean, I should know, it's not whatever. I should know because I've been doing that. You know what's funny? For a while, I loved doing leg day. And I still like it, don't get me wrong. I still like it. Alright. You don't have to, I mean, listen, you're free in sculpting whatever you want to sculpt, but I'm not gonna detail the butt right now because she's gonna be wearing like underwear anyway. But if you want to add like a butt crack here, just select your crease brush and don't draw the butt crack all the way, because that's not, you know, what that looks like. You have the back, right? And it creases until here. Smooth this out or flatten it, and then add the butt crack like that. But this part right here is I don't know what it's called. See, I should know these things, but whatever. And just smooth it out. Well, I'm not gonna add it, but just so you know, you have the option to add it. Just make sure you remesh or add more detail to it, similar to how we did the face. Just I told you I wasn't gonna do it, and now I did it. Look what you made me do, huh? It's like Taylor Swift said, cringy moments. You know, I had somebody tell me recently, great tutorial, or your videos are nice, just please don't ever sing again. Yeah, she was saying that. And it was on that one video where I was doing a review of Lumi. It's my most viewed video, I think, but that was pretty funny. So let's see, let's add the arms and do a quick block out of the hand, and then call it a day for this video at least. And then I'll see you in the next video. So let's scale this down. Control A, scale. We're gonna mirror it over in a second, but let me just set the shape here. And you don't have to go too detailed here. I mean, for one, it's covered up, but this character is very stylized in the sense that the limbs also shouldn't have that much detail. So Shift D, bring it in here. I didn't have a top reference, but honestly, it's fine. Let's bring it like that. Control A, scale. Just attach it like that. Yeah, let's go to this one. Let's create a little elbow here. Maybe bring this part in. And of course, remesh. Remesh is your friend with sculpting. And now for the forearm, I do have to like bring the lower part in, because this is going to transition into the hand. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the best at sculpting arms. That's something I need to improve, especially hands. And feet, honestly, I never sculpted. I mean, I have for like when I was doing my anatomy course, you have to sculpt pretty much every part of the body. But yeah, other than that, I never went into sculpting feet, because usually the characters are wearing shoes or, you know, but that is another thing I should get into again. But I don't know. If it's not relevant, I don't feel like what's the point? But it is a skill, so I shouldn't say that. You know, I should get better at sculpting. In general, not just say, okay, I'm not making feet characters anyway. So that was a weird way to phrase that. Feet characters. The hell does that mean? All right, let's do something like that. Maybe bring it in a bit. That's okay. And now select it and mirror. Mirror and empty. I actually have a shortcut. So any modifier that you select here, you can actually right click and add it to quick favorites. So what that means is if you select something, you can press Q, and you see I have a shit ton of quick favorites here, but select mirror, and there you go. You don't have to go in here again. So select empty, and there you go. We got our arms. I don't like the way the torso looks so broad. She looks like she has quarterback shoulders, but at the same time it doesn't really matter. But let me fix that a bit. Is that better? Yeah, something like that. So for the hands, let me actually use the 3D cursor because I haven't really been using it this time. Shift right click, position it right there. Shift A, mesh, UV sphere, like I showed you in the first video. And now I'm not even using it myself. Control A, scale, and then just hands are a bit tricky. Let me remesh this first because it's a bit too detailed. Again, we are lucky that we don't have to get too detailed into this. You know, it's funny, every time I see a beginner that just starting out in sculpting in one of these 3D communities, they're saying, yeah, the character doesn't look that good, but it's okay because it's stylized. And or they say this is supposed to be this way because it's stylized. And I'm like, come on, don't do that. Don't be like that. You know, you gotta know what you're doing. Plus, stylized characters are, the way I always learned it was, you gotta know your anatomy before you get into like stylized characters, because you gotta know which parts you wanna, you know, like make bigger, what parts you wanna make smaller. So, you know, it's not just at random. There's a whole thought process behind it. So I'm gonna go back to the draw sharp brush. This is a really cool brush, by the way. It's funny how I never use it. So I'm gonna just do that and slightly, very lightly smooth it out. There we go. Just like that. Become the brush. Imagine I start doing like Bob Ross sculpting videos. I could wear a wig. Well, it's not like you can see me anyway, but I would still wear a wig just to get the energy. Get the Bob Ross energy. That looks pretty nice, I think. Yeah, it doesn't really match up with the hand here, so I mean, it's fine if it's shorter, but I guess for the sake of this tutorial, let me bring it in here and select the hand and just with the snake hook, just bring it in like that. She has 5 fingers. Okay. I thought I gave her 4 fingers. That's surprising. Okay. Oh, I forgot I didn't give her feet. So, all right, let's do it like this. The fingers, that's part of the detailing. So let me leave that for the next video. Let me end it with the feet. So shift right click, put the 3D cursor there. Shift A, UV sphere, and scale that down. Let me just mirror this before I forget. There we go. And snake hook. Bring this out. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I hope this will help you out. This is some free education 101. I hope it's good stuff. I mean, it's free. Listen, you cannot be complaining. I'm kidding. I'm joking. If you have feedback, let me know, of course. You know, it's always welcome to read feedback, and actually apply the changes. I mean, I already kind of did. I don't want to say kind of, I did. Somebody commented to check out somebody's, this educator's Blender tutorials, and he was using like a big cursor on his screen, so I scaled up my cursor and made it lime green, so you can actually see it in case it gets lost on the screen. Yeah, stuff like that. So let me show you something. If you made the feet like this, like you know, the bottom is basically like drooping down, and you want to fix that, well, let me tell you, you can't. I'm joking. Go to the side view, scroll down, and there's this brush called Line Project. Now if you click and hold, and then hold down Control, it will snap. And then, well, you still hold Control, as you can see on screen, and then you also hold down Space. So I know it's a whole lot of buttons. And you can position it, right? So I'm putting it right here, and I'm just gonna let go of my mouse, then of the buttons. And there you go, it's flat. Like the Earth. I'm kidding. I'm not a flat earther. I know I said that. So let's keep it at this one. This is the Blockout. I'll see you in the next video where I will go over the detailing. So that's still, the next video is still going to be part of the sculpting process. Click on the screen to go to that next video when it's up. And in the meantime, like I said, join the Discord. You know, get in there, socialize, share your art. Yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video where I'll go over the detailing. And yeah, hit subscribe. You know, follow me on whatever socials I've got linked, and I'll see you guys in the next video.